witty hot bill doing.
Happy Halloween, nigglets. Welcome back to my channel. Daniel is in the house on this spooky little season. I'm wearing this beanie because I just washed my hair. I just looked up a new way to wash my hair. And the lady, she didn't blow dry her hair. She like tied it up with conditioner in it and like wrapped it up overnight. It's still morning, so I'm just gonna leave this in until tomorrow morning, and then I'm gonna take it out of the, cause it's split into 4 sections and it's in 4 plaits, like 2 here and 2 here. So in the morning I'm gonna take it out, and then it's gonna be like, it's gonna look like it's blow dried, but I'm gonna be done, I guess, blow dry my hair without actually using heat. You know what I'm saying? Cause I don't wanna have heat damage, you know? Praise the Lord. But today also, I wanna say thank you to Adriana and I think Lauren, because I remember at the party Lauren was like, did you like the candle? Or Lauren asked me, did I like the candle? I don't know if she bought it or not. I don't know. Maybe I'm hallucinating. But thank you to Adriana for this candle. I'm telling you, I've used this candle a little bit, as you can already see. It has 3 stems. I used all 3 because like I didn't want to just burn one and then like have one section down and all. But this is a iced dragon fruit tea candle. It smells so delicious. Thank you so much, Adriana. I know you're watching. Thank you so much. I love you. That's my wife, y'all. We have children together. I have children by multiple people. Yeah. But on today, we're going to be getting into a little story time. At the end of this story time, I want you guys to still look at me as a sane person, okay? I don't want y'all to look at me as this, you know, typical ghetto, you know, type of person who's just crazy. No, don't look at me like that. Look at me as how you always looked at me, a nice, sane, civil, decorum person, okay? So I'm gonna tell y'all a little story time about how I low-key / high-key pulled a knife out on my neighbor. So let's get into the story time because I don't want to waste too much time. So it was one night, right? It was one night. My dad and my neighbor were outside talking. Now let me give you a little backstory on this neighbor and her children. Her children, we used to play, but back in the day, I used to be a little bigger and I used to be, you know, bigger and fatter. You know, being little children. Little kids pick on other kids, of course. I mean, it's human nature. And those kids used to pick on me about my weight. They'd be like, oh, you so big. Oh, you need to stop eating, stuff like that. So they would low-key bully me, but we were still friends. See, back in the day, when I was in elementary school, I used to let a lot of stuff slide. It wasn't until I got to like 5th grade and up is when I was like, okay, I'm fighting y'all. Even though my first fight was in the 2nd grade, that time I just completely lost my mind because I was like, But I still used to let stuff slide. But 5th grade and up is when I was like, High school, I let a lot of stuff slide. Well, actually, nobody really tried me in high school, really, to be honest. Like, nobody really tried me. So I really had no reason. Anyway, her kids used to, I mean, it wasn't like a full-on like being mean and bullying. It was just more so of like oh, you fat, you need to stop eating, you know what I'm saying? So one day, and you know, that's the dynamic between us, but we were still friends. So one day, their mom and my dad, it was a night actually, one night they were outside talking. And mind you, I was friends with another boy that lived down the hall. And that was my best friend, actually. He lived down the hall. And I used to always go to his place and he would come to my place. And we used to play Monopoly and play what's the game? With the guns in the tank. It's so iconic. We used to play GTA and then it was the game. I can't think of the name of the game right now, but we used to play that game when I used to go over there. So he lived down the hall. So one night, my dad and the lady, she actually lived like right next door to us. They were outside talking one night. And I think I was in the kitchen cooking, if I'm not mistaken. I was in the kitchen cooking. And my door actually has jalousies. And if y'all don't know what jalousies are, it's basically like little glass panes that you can turn with a knob. And it can open the door without actually having it like open, if that makes sense. Like it has a screen on it, like these windows, like, well, not like these windows, but it has a screen on it that allows outside air in, but it, you know what I'm saying? But the glass you can twist open. So I had it open and I was cooking. And I hear my dad and the neighbor, they were like talking, and the talking gradually started turning into arguing, and they got louder and louder and louder and louder until eventually my mom went outside because she heard it all the way from her bedroom. My brother went outside because he heard it all the way from his bedroom. And I'm still in the house. I'm like, listen, I understand they're arguing and I understand this is my father, but I have too much class to be out here arguing with you people. So I'm just going to stay in here and cook my food. So I'm cooking and cooking, and mind you, everybody outside looking at them, and my family outside trying to calm my dad down, and they was arguing back and forth. I mean, they were arguing. I can't remember exactly what they were saying, but they were just arguing and arguing and arguing. Until eventually I was like, you know what, let me just look outside and be nosy and see what's going on. So I step out the door and I look outside and I see they going back and forth, back and forth. So I come back inside the house and I'm like, I don't have time for this. So then I continue to cook. And then eventually they got so loud to where it's like, I'm like, are they going to be quiet and go to bed, or are they going to continue to argue? So I step back outside. This is where it all went downhill. I step back outside. I see my dad. I think my mom or somebody, she's not holding him back, but she's like kind of like holding him, but she's not like physically like trying to hold him back. She's just like, calm down, stuff like that. So I see my mom doing that. I turn to my right. I look down the hall, literally just like 15 feet down or maybe 10 feet. I see my neighbor. She's standing outside, approaching my father with a knife in her hand. One thing you will not do. See, I'm very calm, okay? I'm a very calm person, and I've stated this in many videos. I am very calm. I am very collective. But when you threaten my friends, family, or pets, that's when all limits are off. You can threaten me. Well, not really. I mean, to an extent, you can threaten me. You can talk about me. You can talk about the bushes. You can talk about the trees. You can talk about the sky. You can talk about the ground. But what you will not do is threaten or talk about my family, friends, or pets. I ain't got no pets. They all died. But you ain't going to talk about my pets, family, or friends. So, or threaten them. So when I saw her walking down, approaching my father with a knife in her hand, shouting to the top of her lungs, "I'ma stab the out of you, I'ma stab the..." That's when I think that was the day I think I learned how to lose my mind officially. I already lost it back in 2nd grade, and I told this story. If you want to see that story time, just click the link. I already told this story about how I lost my mind back in the 2nd grade when that boy in the tetherball. But something was different about this, because she was actually approaching my father and threatening to stab him and saying that she was going to stab the F out of him. And when I saw that, I turned back around. And I think my friend, he was outside and he was down the hall and he was looking. And I guess he saw me. And he saw me rush back into the house, because when I saw that, I turned around and I proceeded to storm back into the house. And he saw that, and he came walking. First, he came walking down the hall, but he was like speed walking. I rushed back into the house. And mind you, I was in the kitchen already. So I went to the kitchen. I grabbed a knife.
I'm pulling out straps and knives, and you dying, bitch, at the end of the goddamn day.
I picked up the knife. And before I could get outside, I was about to step out the front door, and I was going to charge that heifer and get her before she could get my father. Before I could charge her, my friend, thank God, he came in front of the doorway. He came into my home, like right there in the kitchen, and he stopped me from going out there. And I was like, get out my way. I'm finna go stab her. Get out of my way. Get out my way. He was like, Daniel, don't do this. Don't do this. And then all of a sudden I hear her screaming. So then that just triggers me because I'm like, is she charging him? Because all I hear is, ah! And I'm like, oh my God, she finna stab him. So I said, get out of my way. Get out of my way. Get out of my way. I'm finna get her. I'm finna get her. And I'm waving the knife all in the air. Get out of my way. I'm finna get her. She's threatening my father. Move out of my way. And I started crying. Get out of my way. I'm finna get her. I'm finna get her. She's I couldn't get her. I couldn't even get out the door because he was way too strong and he was holding me back. But eventually, I think somebody called the police because I heard police sirens outside. And he was inside with me trying to like just calm me down. And then I hear police sirens outside. And I was very hysterical. I was red. I was hot. I was just angry. But thank God everybody survived. Thank God that I didn't lose my mind and actually do anything that day. I mean, it's justifiable. That's my father. You don't threaten my father. You don't walk up to my father shouting you're going to get him with a knife in your hand. You don't do that and expect me to look at that. And mind you, I want to say I was roughly around the age of 10. I want to say 10 years old or 11. I was 10 or 11 or 13. No, like 10 or 11 years old around this time. 12 maybe. You don't do that. But yeah, all parties survived that day. Thank God. And thank God for him, because if it wasn't, I promise you, if it wasn't for him, I would have charged her. I would have. I don't know what I would have done, but I would have charged her. But thank God he stopped me. And yeah, everybody survived. Thank you all so much for watching this story time. I hope you enjoyed it and I hope you got something out of it. Make sure to like, subscribe, and comment any video ideas you have for me. And if you want to hear other story times, and like I said, I'm going to be doing a lot of horror things because it is Halloween season. So subscribe with the bell on to be notified when I post any other videos. Make sure to check out my previous video, which is the newest episode of the Black Power podcast, which is talking about a lot of things music-wise and a little political things too. So hopefully you guys enjoyed this video, and I will see y'all in the next one. And once again, Frank is already in your room. Turn around.
You think you just fell out of a coke? You think you just fell? You think you just fell out